A game of chess with infinite complexity, or Return to Antwerp. Antwerp is the name of my website generator. It examines files carefully arranged in directories and generates an 18,000 file website. These types of programs are called static website generators, and static websites are websites that don't execute any code. They just serve static files. I chose the static website model because it is pretty much unhackable. There cannot be any bugs to exploit when all the website files are just that, static. It is also easier to find a cheap static website host, sometimes. And the deployment is just a matter of copying files without any special concern for their execution or permissions or whatever. The code editor I have been using is called Atom, and it has been extinguished. So I switched to a fork called Pulsar, and it seems to work all right. And the first thing I did in Antwerp is to take out this magnificent optimization I made in a module called whooptiedoo. Whooptiedoo allowed me to run website building tasks in a series, or one by one, and in parallel, where each of my CPU cores would be crunching on something different. Examples of tasks that need to run in a series are those that depend on each other. So getting a list of all the directories and then loading up the poems within is a good example of needing to run something in a series, because I can't load up the poems if I don't have a list of directories with them. And tasks that run in parallel are those that are independent of each other, generating my art portfolio image and my code snippets page can totally happen at the same exact time because they don't depend on each other at all. But there is something even more important than efficient code and the existence of whooptiedoo, and that is code readability. Without whooptiedoo optimizations, the entirety of Antwerp consists of a single 20+ item list of actions. When the actions are ran, the website is ready to upload. There's an old saying that I always laughed at. Premature optimization is the root of all evil. It is so correct, because rather than structuring my list of tasks with whooptiedoo, I should have just marked which can run in parallel and then just leave it up to a better whooptiedoo to create a dependency tree, solve it, and have a go at it. I should not have manually mangled my code. I should have kept it a single list. Finally, there are many static site generators. Jekyll is a classic, and Hugo is what Jekyll people tend to switch to when needing something performant. But I only ever felt half bad for not using pre-written software, because you can't customize it at the core, as it is most often surrounded by a plugin or extension ecosystem that demands a specific mode of operation. I would never be able to tear something like whooptiedoo out of a core of such a program. Often, these programs expose hooks at key points within themselves, so you can't really upgrade those programs at all. I was able to upgrade Antwerp in just a single afternoon to make uploading more efficient and fragment the audiobook into chapters. Here I made a chapter come in at about 220 poems, which is about a gigabyte of uncompressed MP3 files. This will greatly speed up uploading the audiobook, for one, as I can divide it up into 6 files at about gigabyte in size, and instead of rebuilding the entire book, just keep adding new chapters every 220 poems or so. The biggest benefit of writing custom software is the needed maintenance to adapt to new technologies and constraints, which in turn keeps you programming, keeps you sharp, keeps you well equipped for a proper career, and above all, it keeps you entertained as you return to your favorite bits of code throughout your entire life.